As supermodel Christy Turlington caught our eye on magazine covers and runways. Well, she is here this morning in a very different role, catching our ears as spokesperson for Lung Cancer Awareness Week. It is the disease that took her father's life, something she has talked about in a public service announcement we all saw and watched and were moved by.
In my life, there are two people in my family who've quit smoking. Me and my dad. For me, it took 7 years. Nothing worked. When I finally did quit for good, I knew it was one of the biggest accomplishments of my life. My dad, it was different for him. He stopped December 1996.
This year, America's #1 cancer killer will kill more men and women than breast, prostate, and colorectal cancers combined, and Christy Turlington joins us now. Your dad had smoked for 50 years, and by the time his symptoms showed, it was fairly far along. I know one of the things you want to talk about is the possibility of early detection making a really big difference. What do you mean?
Well, in my father's case, he had annual exams, which were sort of traditional x-rays on his lung area, and nothing showed up in those scans. And it wasn't until he was experiencing a lot of pain and we couldn't really place where that was coming from.
Back pain, fatigue.
Exactly, fatigue. He had been coughing up a little bit of blood, which is a sort of typical sign, but I sent him to Mayo Clinic, and that's where we did like a whole body checkup, and they finally found lung cancer, and it was the obvious thing for him to have, considering that he had smoked for 50 years. So early detection is something that I'm really trying to get out there and spread the word about, just general awareness about lung cancer and how many people it claims every year.
Particularly for smokers to go in for the earliest possible x-rays, the earliest possible detection that you can find. You smoked too, starting at age 14?
Yes, about that.
I was surprised to read, it said here that when you were 19, you were smoking so much you couldn't walk up the stairs without being out of breath.
I realized I was addicted to tobacco at the age of 19. I was smoking probably a pack a day at that time, and you know, I definitely felt it. In the morning, I knew that I wanted a cigarette first thing, and which just sounds so unappealing at the moment. And getting off a long flight, I remember needing to smoke, and that's when I realized that it had too much control over me, and I wanted to try to stop that. And
you said that one of the things that prevents early detection, in part, you think, is that people tend to blame smokers for this cancer, so there isn't the kind of public support. You had a real problem getting off, right? You tried hypnosis. What else did you try? The patches, everything?
I tried the patches. I tried acupuncture, hypnosis twice. And hypnosis actually was successful for a couple of years the first time. But each time that you quit, and if you go back, there's a tremendous guilt involved, and it ends up being more and more difficult each time you try. All of those remedies are, I think, better now than they were when I was trying. Zyban is something that's come up in the market since then, which is supposed to be very effective. Just trying, continuing to try, and having support is a very important thing.
I'm going to give everybody another touchstone moment for why you're here. A Vogue cover, 1999. We're talking about 13 supermodels. How many of them did you see smoking?
Everyone except for 2 of us. And they were all different ages, from 18 to 50. And many of them mothers. And yeah, it was quite shocking, even for myself.
Do you go door to door? Do you go person to person and try to get them to stop?
Well, having been a smoker, I'm quite empathetic, and I am definitely, I give a lot of information when I know people are curious about it and have interest and want to quit. I pass numbers of hypnosis around, but you know, I don't think the militant thing works exactly. I think just letting people know that there are resources, and there's a great lungcancer.org is an incredible website that's created just to help support people and answer questions. And there's so much information we don't know about the treatment itself.
You just decided to stop one day. How long ago?
It's been 6 years almost. In February, it'll be 6 years.
And you talked about the fact you gained weight, and in your profession, that's a serious thing. Didn't matter.
I'd rather be smoke-free than 20 pounds even heavier than I am. So it's a choice, and it's also a temporary thing. You know, the weight gain is the smallest aspect of what you get back in terms of clearing up your life and living a cleaner life, I think.
Well, again, Christy Turlington, dedicating this, I think, to your dad and to everybody else out there who needs to stop. And thank you for being here. And
Thank you.
If anybody out there wants to break the smoking habit, look for additional advice on our website, gma.abcnews.com. We'll be back.